Not paying salaries but points. The company has really mastered exploiting its employees by doing this. A high-tech company in Jiangsu innovated a very high-tech way of paying salaries. Newly hired employees don't get paid a salary for the first 4 months, but earn points instead. Working one day earns an employee 100 points, and accumulating 3,000 points allows them to exchange these for their salary, which means no days off. During months like February, which only have 28 days, it's impossible to even accumulate 3,000 points. But that's not the most outrageous part. To encourage employees to delay exchanging their points for salary, the company devised a plan where the longer employees wait to exchange their points, the more they can get. For example, exchanging points in the second month gives 1.1 times the salary. In the third month, 1.2 times, and by the 11th month, it doubles to 2 times. You could delay up to 36 months for a salary exchange, which then triples to 2.5 times. It sounds good in theory, but on closer inspection, it's basically just to delay my salary for 3 years. The man who recorded the video stated that the tech company in Jiangsu has many other tricks. Exchanging points for salary also comes with conditions. First, the company must achieve a break-even point and secure a positive annual profit. Second, the company must have the cash flow to support the point exchange without impacting its operations. In simple terms, the company needs to be making significant profit before employees can exchange their points for salary. If there is any slight financial manipulation by the company, employees might never be able to convert their points into salary. News of this practice has sparked heated discussions on many Chinese social media platforms, with people directly stating that this is a clear case of drawing a pie in the sky. It's the company's scheme to get free labor. Not paying salaries for 4 months is just the first hurdle. Even if one works for 6 months, the company will still not pay if it lacks funds. The company pays salaries annually, and only if it can afford to do so without affecting operations. If operations are affected, how will its employees be able to afford food and mortgage payments? The bank doesn't accept points for sure. Someone else commented and said, China has yet again come up with a new way to exploit its people. The Chinese economy continues to struggle, and tech companies also face significant pressures. In addition to the point for salary system mentioned above, many tech companies have recently started adopting the shared employees model. There are shared programmers, shared designers, or shared financial staff models, which help cut staffing costs by about 5 to 10%. This has also sparked heated discussions. According to a report from Chinese state media, a delivery engineer named Jiangsu is also a shared programmer at an IT company in Beijing. He's not only busy following project's progress for his company, but also, like many of his colleagues, doing the same for other companies as well. Zhao Song shared, being a shared programmer allows me to manage the delivery processes of projects from several companies simultaneously. I am currently working on 6 to 8 projects, and my overall income has increased by about 40% to 50%. Designer Liang Xin is also part of the shared employees workforce. At a Beijing-based catering equipment and technology service company, her responsibilities include discussing promotional designs with the company's marketing head. We usually handle projects from 2 to 3 companies at the same time, and our work locations are quite flexible, she said. Reports note that during the peak recruitment season of March and April, roles like shared programmers, shared designers, and shared financial staff have become popular staffing choices for many tech companies. These employees typically do not sign permanent contracts, but instead engage in short-term projects. A marketing head at a Beijing-based kitchen equipment service technology company, Wang Shui, shared that his company uses the shared employees model on certain graphic design projects, such as creating corporate brochures. This approach allows for flexible work arrangements and helps save on manpower costs. Chief Marketing Officer Cai Li works at a Beijing-based financial management technology startup with fewer than 600 employees. His company employs fewer than 100 shared employees, but it already helps reduce costs significantly. The topic of shared employees has also sparked widespread discussion, with the general opinion being that this model poses many potential issues. Someone from China remarked, "Isn't shared employees just another term for outsourcing? And they don't even have to pay for Social Security. The workers are completely at the mercy of the employers. Another person noted, it indeed saves a lot of expenses for the companies, but with no social security or housing fund benefits, the company can easily shift responsibility if any problems arise with the shared employees. Recently, news of layoffs at Chinese tech companies have been surfacing continuously online.
我被裁员了。
A friend from Shenzhen has just called me on the phone, saying his company has started layoffs and he is on the list. He works at a large well-known internet company in Shenzhen, earning millions in salary annually. He owns a house in Shenzhen with a monthly mortgage of about 20,000 yuan and is now very uncertain about his future. He has been actively looking for a new job, but no companies have called him in for interviews.
互联网公司程序员35岁被裁。
I'm 35 years old and was a programmer at an internet company, but I got laid off. I worked in Beijing for 11 years with a monthly salary of over 50,000 yuan. Last year, unable to withstand the pressure of internal competition and due to health reasons, I voluntarily resigned from that prestigious company and joined a startup. Unfortunately, less than a year later, our team of over 30 people was cut down to just 4 or 5 to maintain existing projects. In fact, I had a premonition about the layoffs before the Chinese New Year. To cut costs, the company chose to outsource projects rather than develop them internally. With my wife over 8 months pregnant, my responsibilities are mounting. The job market is tough, and the responses I'm getting in my job search are either that there are no vacancies or that the companies are looking for candidates under 35. News about layoffs at the Chinese internet company NetEase has captured public attention. Chinese media disclosed that since December 2023, NetEase has initiated layoffs across multiple business sectors, with the media division suffering heavily and the gaming department also affected. Major layoffs at NetEase Media began in January, affecting various product lines including NetEase News, NetEase Culture and Creative, and NetEase Open Courses. Positions in content, marketing, sales, and product management were all impacted. According to insiders, the layoffs range from 10% to 50% across different departments and sectors. However, news of these layoffs was subsequently deleted from social media platforms across China. According to Radio Free Asia, Mr. He, who works in online media in Beijing, said that the increasingly strict control over internet content by the Cyberspace Administration of China and other regulatory bodies has severely impacted many operations. This has significantly affected the functioning of internet businesses. He explained that the overall economic downturn in China is affecting various sectors. With stricter network regulations, many internet companies find it difficult to survive. Many internet operations cannot be conducted, leading to a reduction in business activities. Additionally, many companies face cash flow problems. Employing internet monitors who do not generate any profit makes less sense than carrying out layoffs. China is currently facing serious unemployment issues, particularly among young people, which has garnered significant attention. On March 20th, the Chinese government released data of the youth unemployment rate for the 16 to 24 age group, excluding students, at 15.3%, a 0.7% increase from the previously published figure. Regarding the official data, many in China have expressed skepticism. One commenter on social media remarked, "The unemployment rate only counts those who register as unemployed, right? If you don't register, you're not counted, so there must be some discrepancies. Can you imagine how high the unemployment rate must be?" Another added, "The figures are meaningless because those who are actually unemployed aren't counted. There's no point in looking at the data. Just look at the real situation around you." Last year, China's youth unemployment rate hit new monthly highs, reaching 21.3% in June, after which the National Bureau of Statistics announced it would temporarily stop releasing the data. This has attracted accusations of them committing a cover-up. In January this year, the government released optimized data, which excludes students looking for part-time jobs, counting only the 34 million young people who have left school and are seeking full-time employment. However, according to the International Labor Organization, excluding students from unemployment statistics does not align with its established measurement standards. Students currently seeking work should also be included in employment statistics. As reported by Voice of America, Professor Zhang Hongyuan of the International Trade Department at Chile University of Technology in Taipei stated that the Chinese government's revised statistical methods have led to an apparent decrease in youth unemployment rates. However, when these rates are compared using the same statistical model, they actually show an increase, indicating that the root causes of high unemployment have not been addressed. Professor Zhang commented, "The increase in the unemployment rate indicates that the main industrial sectors have not yet recovered, and the urban economy's capacity to absorb unemployment populations, especially young people, has not been restored. We believe this reported rate has been underestimated, as the actual youth unemployment rate is likely around 16 or 17%. In June 2023, a young graduate, Zhang Chen, from a prestigious 985 university in Shanghai, mentioned that he has had to rely on flexible employment due to not finding satisfactory formal work. He expressed frustration, stating that he should be included in the unemployment statistics, but if individuals like him were counted, it would make the government look bad. For Zhang Chen, who considers himself part of the unemployed population, the reality remains the same despite how statistical methods or data may be manipulated. It is that many young people can't find satisfactory jobs and are choosing to lie flat, embracing a lifestyle known as 10-nose youth. Amidst a long-term sense of hopelessness about the future, a viral WeChat post recently listed the specific actions of the 10-nose youth, including not getting married, not having children, not buying houses, and not investing in the stock market. Zhang Chen sarcastically remarked that while the authorities continue to claim the economy is steadily improving, the younger generation is equally steadily choosing to lie flat, showing no desire to get up. He also mentioned that some university classmates, anticipating difficulties in finding work after graduation, have chosen to continue their studies by pursuing higher education. However, this is merely avoiding the problem, as there is no guarantee that the job market will improve in 2 years. Currently, the elderly are reluctant to retire, while the number of university graduates continues to increase, which means future opportunities will only become scarcer. According to statistics from China's Ministry of Education, the number of fresh graduates from ordinary higher education institutions in China is expected to reach 11.8 million in 2024, setting a new record. This indicates that there will be even greater employment pressure this summer. A senior China economist, Kevin Lam, and Pantheon Macroeconomics in the UK, stated that China sees between 10 million and 12 million new graduates entering the job market each year. In previous years of good economic growth, private and state-owned enterprises were able to create sufficient job opportunities for them. However, in recent years, increased regulatory crackdowns on companies in a sluggish overall economy have made it increasingly difficult to integrate these new entrants into the labor market. The high youth unemployment rate is not only a crisis for young people, but can also impact those who have been in the workforce for years. An employee at an internet company in Shenzhen, Mia, noted that large private companies are now expected to uphold so-called social responsibilities by laying off older employees to make room for new graduates. This is to superficially improve the appearance of youth unemployment statistics. Mia shared with Voice of America, "We would receive notifications or official documents from entities like the Shenzhen city government about the number of university graduates each year. The HR departments of large companies are then informed of the government's demand to reserve a certain proportion of positions for new graduates." Chinese career planner Luca also noted that the government's stance is clear: preserve the young, give up on the middle-aged and elderly. As a result, companies are reducing job positions for those over 35, giving more opportunities to younger individuals. Luca pointed out that individuals over 35 generally have substantial mortgages and car loans, meaning their borrowing capacity is exhausted and they can generate less market value. In contrast, young people have ample borrowing capability if they are employed, which can stimulate consumption and create better overall economic data. Mia believes that while younger people may have the advantage of being cheaper to employ, their performance quality varies and their working status is unstable. However, the government has set performance indicators for private companies. The ultimate solution for companies is to leave some internally dispensable positions for young people, then cycle them out after a few years for a new batch of youngsters, thus helping the government keep the cap on the unemployment rate of this specific age group. On April 16th, China reported a first quarter economic growth rate of 5.3% year over year, surpassing external expectations and signaling a strong start to the year. This was particularly evident in the industrial sector, where growth exceeded 6%, marking a notable achievement. However, a Reuters survey of 86 economists had earlier forecasted that China's GDP growth rate for the first quarter would slow down to 4.6%, potentially the lowest in 30 years outside of the pandemic periods. Economists also predict China's economic growth rate will be just 4.6% in 2024, potentially dropping further to 4.4% next year. This suggests that China's economy has not yet emerged from its difficulties. The survey also indicates that the consumer inflation rate for 2024 might rise from 0.2% in 2023 to 0.7%, still significantly below the government's target of around 3%. A research assistant, Wang Guochen, at the First Research Division of the Taiwan-based Tsinghua Institution for Economic Research, stated that the earliest estimates by most economists were justified. He explained that there are three driving factors for China's economy: fixed asset investment, which grew by 4.5% in the first quarter, consumer spending, which increased by 4.7%, and a decline in exports of 0.7%. All three factors have averaged out to an economic growth rate of approximately 4.6%. However, Wang noted that the official data, showing a 4.5% year-over-year increase in fixed investment leading to a 6.1% industrial growth rate, seemed unreasonable, not to mention while fixed asset investment by state-owned enterprises increased by 7.8% in the first quarter, government debt did not rise significantly. This, along with many provinces and cities halting infrastructure projects, raises suspicions. Despite the unexpectedly high GDP growth rate, Chinese stock market investors remain distressed. According to CailianPress.com, on April 16th, the Shenzhen Composite Index fell by over 2%, the Shanghai Composite Index dropped by 1.53%, and the Growth Enterprise Market Index declined by 1.67%. The report noted that approximately 5,100 stocks across the Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Beijing stock markets declined that day, with nearly 1,300 stocks falling by more than 9% and nearly 300 stocks falling by more than 11%. Some Weibo users describe this downturn as 1,000 stocks hitting the limit and the straw that broke the camel's back. A financial blogger with 840,000 followers recently posted the question, with the A-share market plummeting like this, can anyone really trust positive economic data? Fitch Ratings has already downgraded China's sovereign credit outlook to negative, citing the country's significant budget deficits and increasing public debt in recent years, which have eroded budget reserves and posed risks to public finance. In March, China's consumer price index growth rate sharply decreased, while the producer price index drastically plummeted, indicating that deflationary pressures remain a major threat to China's economic recovery.